Hey, what's going on? Jerry Fetta here, owner, founder, and CEO of Wealth Dynamics. Hey, I want to talk to you today about a question that's coming up, and that is, how do I save more money? And how do I build up, I hate to use the word, you guys use it, I'm going to use it, an emergency fund. Right, I don't like calling it an emergency fund because I don't like the idea of funding an emergency. I want to just build reserves. But let's talk about that, and that's going to be our focus today. So for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we're going to go over exactly what I would be doing if I were you. Okay, so the first thing is we want to look at, okay, am I actually earning more than I spend? Okay, that's the first point. Am I earning more than I spend? If not, that's where we need to start. I need to actually get positive cash flow in my income. Now, that's going to happen through increasing my income, not through budgeting down. The mistake that people make is they budget down first, right? So people think save. I think I want to save money. I've been through this. I was like, I want to save more money. Therefore, I'm going to spend less on groceries. Okay, I'm going to stop eating out. I'm going to travel less, right? And so I don't actually produce anything more. I'm actually reducing my standard of living. I'm making my life less enjoyable so that I can save up more pieces of paper or more digits in a bank account. Right? And that's not how wealth is built. Like the idea of saving and building an emergency fund actually is a very short checkpoint. The real ultimate goal is financial freedom, wealth, right? That's like one of the very, first basic, 2 or 3 steps you're going to take on the way to getting there. Now, I'm not going to discount it because everyone does need to do it and it's important and it's an important step to take, right? So first step is you need to be cash flow positive, very basic one, and do that by increasing the income. The second thing is to save more money. You need to be on a forced, automated monthly savings plan. Okay, what does forced mean? It means it's not up to you. It happens as a result of just no matter what, right? It's going to occur. Think about when you pay your taxes. Those are forced. When you contribute to your 401k, that's forced. They take the money out of your paycheck without asking you for permission. Okay, it's also automated. Okay, what else is automated? Your taxes, your 401k contributions, your mortgage payment, your rent, your car payment, those are all automated. Right, so financial institutions, they have the idea. Banks, Wall Street, and the IRS, they're experts at putting us on forced automated plans to give our money to them. We need to be using that strategy on our own finances to give it to ourselves, right? So that's the first step to saving more money. Increase the income, get on a forced automated savings plan. Right now, this comes up to now the question of, well, where do I put it? Right, where do I put the money? If I don't have a location, that actually could stop me. It's a barrier that could prevent me from saving more of it, could it not? It's confusion. Like, I have all this money, what do I do with it? I run into this question with clients very often. And so I use something called the sacred account. The sacred account is a form of high early cash value, dividend paying whole life insurance. And that's going to allow me to grow my money at a greater rate than the bank, give me more protection than the bank, and actually become my own bank. When you put money in a bank, there's 4 things that happen, 4 groups that are active in that transaction. There's the depositor, you're depositing money into the bank. There's the banker, right? And so the banker is somebody that's not you. You're giving the money to the banker. What's the banker do? The banker brokers a loan. They basically take your deposit. They're borrowing against your deposit. That little interest they pay you every month, that's interest on a loan. They're borrowing your deposit from you, and then they're reloaning it out to someone else for a car payment or for a mortgage or for a credit card or a debt consolidation loan. Right? So the broker, the banker, they broker the loans. They're the middleman that borrows against the deposit to loan it out to the third party, which is now a borrower. So we have a depositor, we've got a borrower, we've got a banker. The 4th group involved in this is called the shareholder. Banks have shareholders. They're owned by investors. Those investors are paid a dividend based on the profit in the bank. So when I do the life insurance, it actually allows me to be all 4 groups. When I save with a bank, I can only be the depositor, maybe the borrower. I'm not the banker, I'm not the shareholder. I don't profit from that system, right? So think about this. I deposit my money in. I'm already doing that. Right? When I deposit it, I'm actually getting better growth on my deposit and better protection. So as a deposit, the sacred account, the life insurance, is better than a bank account. Okay, the second thing is now the borrower. Okay, I'm the borrower and the banker. So as the banker, I'm going to borrow against my deposit and I'm going to loan it out to myself. Right? You have to think about, you're going to take this hat off, the borrower hat, put the banker hat on. Now you're going to be the depositor hat. You've got to think about, you're all 4 of these different roles at different times. So I'm borrowing against that deposit. I'm loaning it out to the borrower. Okay, that's me again. I'm going to use that to pay off my debt or invest for passive income or maybe make a large purchase on a vehicle or furniture or a house or something of that nature instead of going to someone else's bank. Right now, you're thinking, Jerry, why would I borrow against my money? Why would I do that? Okay, well, think about it more like this. If you owned a grocery store, why would you go shop at your competitor if you needed apples? You would shop at your own store. So I'm telling you, you now own your own bank. Why would you go to someone else's bank to take a loan? You don't make profit from their bank. Okay, if you owned a gym, you would not go to someone else's gym for your workouts. You would want to be seen working out in your own gym, right? If you owned a car dealership, you would want to buy cars from your own dealership. So you own your own bank now. Why wouldn't you want to borrow against your own money? If you're going to borrow money from someone, why not use your bank where you make the profit? You've got to change the thinking here. You're no longer the consumer and the depositor. You're the banker. Okay, so the banker, they borrow against the depositor. They loan it out. You're loaning it to yourself at this point. And then you're going to invest. You're going to pay off debt. You're going to do all these great things. Now, as you have this growing, the insurance company that you're using actually makes you a shareholder in the system. Meaning when they make profit, you earn dividends just like a shareholder. So when you borrow and you pay interest on that loan, that goes back to your bank. It comes back to you as profit, right? When you're the borrower, just as that role, let's say that you go make a really good investment decision and you're making 12 or 13% on an investment and you're using that borrowed money. Okay, well, you're actually making profit there too. Plus you're making money on your deposits. You're able to get, the interest income on your deposit, the profit from owning the system, the spread on borrowing from your deposit at this rate and loaning it out at that rate, and also the money from making the smart investment decision. That's 4 ways you make money on your own dollar. Versus in a bank, what happens? You get paid 0.01% interest and that's it, right? So this is the why on why a lot of people don't save. They don't have a good place to save. They're not incentivized to. Imagine going to the gym and working out and never seeing the scale move. Never seeing yourself look better in the mirror, never seeing progress. You would be like, why don't I go to the gym? Okay, now imagine saving money and you never see growth. You never see meaningful interest. You never see that you're building wealth. Why would you put more money there? There's no benefit. There's no results. Same difference, right? So this is how you get to save more money. Now you can do things like increase income. You can reduce your taxes. You can pay off debt. There's all sorts of ways to wiggle that number up. But I want to address the next part, which is what people may call the emergency fund. I just call it the 6-month reserve. So you should have 6 months of living expenses as a cash reserve in the cash value of your life insurance. Okay, that should be there at all times. That's your new zero. Pretend that number doesn't exist, right? And so this is the money that you would use if an emergency did happen, you dip into it, right? It's just there as reserves. It keeps you solvent. And so I would get that number built up. I would keep that in my life insurance, not in my bank account. Okay, the most I would keep in a bank account is 1 month of cash, and that's just for liquidity purposes. I need to do something quickly. I need some cash. Okay, good. I've got the money there, right? But a policy loan, if I borrow against my life insurance, in a matter of days or weeks, I can have that money there. So even if I had a credit card and I'm like, an emergency happens, let me charge it on my credit card. Great. Let me take a policy loan in a week, maybe a few days. I'll have the money to pay off the credit card. Right? So that's what I would do. That's my answer to how do you build up more savings. Make it more exciting, guys. Quit giving it to banks. Quit giving it to Wall Street. Quit giving it to the IRS. Give it to your own banking system so you can build wealth.